Hi Freya. Tonight we're going to do the book about the little wooden horse with Uncle Pedder. One day Uncle Pedder made a little wooden horse. This was not at all an extraordinary thing, but oh, this was such a brave little horse, so gay and splendid on his 4 green wheels, so proud and dashing, with his red saddle and blue stripes. Uncle Pedder had never made so fine a little horse before. "I shall ask 5 shillings for this little wooden horse," he cried. What was his surprise when he saw large tears trickling down the newly painted face of the little wooden horse. "Oh, don't do that," said Uncle Pedder. "Your paint will run." "And what is there to cry about? Do you want more spots on your sides? Do you wish for bigger wheels? Do you creak? Are you stiff? Aren't your stripes broad enough? I shall certainly sell you for 5 shillings. But the tears still ran down the newly painted cheeks of the little wooden horse, till at last Uncle Pedder lost patience. He picked him up and threw him onto the pile of wooden toys he meant to sell in the morning. The little wooden horse said nothing at all, but he went on crying. Oh. When night came and the toys slept in the sack, under Uncle Pedder's chair, the tears were still running down the cheeks of the little wooden horse. In the morning, Uncle Pedder picked up the sack and set out to sell his toys. At every village he came to, the children ran out to meet him, crying, "Here's Uncle Pedder! Here's Uncle Pedder! Come to sell his wooden toys!" Then out of the cottages came the mothers and the fathers, the granddads and the nanas, the uncles and the aunties, the elder cousins and the godparents, to see what Uncle Pedder had to sell. The children who had birthdays were very lucky. They had the best toys given to them, and they could choose whatever they would like to have. The children who had been good in school were lucky too. Their parents bought them wooden pencil boxes and rulers and paper cutters, like grown-ups. The little ones had puppets and dolls and marionettes and tops. Uncle Pedder had made them all, painting the dolls in red and yellow, the tops in blue, scarlet and green. When the children had finished choosing, their mummies, daddies, granddads, nanas, uncles, aunties, cousins and godparents sent them home saying, "Now let's hear no more of you for another year." Then they stayed behind to gossip with old Pedder, who brought them news from other villages he had passed by on his way. Nobody bought the little wooden horse, for nobody had 5 shillings to spend. The daddies and the mummies, the granddads and the grandmas, the uncles and the aunties, the cousins and the godparents all shook their heads, saying, 5 shillings? Well, that's too much. Won't you take less, Uncle Pedder?" But Uncle Pedder would not take a penny less. "You see, I never made such a fine little horse before," he said. All the while the tears ran down the nose of the little wooden horse, who looked very sad indeed. So that when Uncle Pedder was alone once more, he asked him, "Tell me, little wooden horse, what is there to cry about? Have I driven nails crookedly into your legs? Don't you like your nice green wheels and your bright blue stripes? What is there to cry about? I'd like to know." At last the little wooden horse made a great effort and sobbed out, "Oh, master, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you. I'm a quiet little horse. I don't want to be sold. I want to stay with you forever and ever. I shouldn't cost much to keep. Just a little bit of paint now and then. Perhaps a little oil in my wheels once a year. I'll serve you faithfully, master, if you just don't sell me for 5 shillings. I'm a quiet little horse, I am, and the thought of going out into the wide world breaks my heart. Let me stay with you here, master, please." Uncle Pedder scratched his head, and he looked in surprise at his little wooden horse. "Well," he said, That's a funny thing to cry about. Most of my toys want to go out into the wide world. Still, as nobody wants to give 5 shillings for you, and you have such a melancholy expression, you can stop with me for now. And maybe I won't get rid of you after all." When Uncle Pedder said this, the little wooden horse stopped crying at once and galloped 3 times round in a circle. "Why, you're a gay little fellow after all," said Uncle Pedder, as the little wooden horse kicked his legs in the air so that the 4 green wheels spun round and round. "Who would have thought it?" said Uncle Pedder. "Can you see how happy the little wooden horse is now?" He's so happy because he's going to stay with Uncle Pedder, isn't he? Did you like that story, Freya? It's one of your favourites, isn't it? That's the end. So it's time for you to shut your little eyes and go to bed once more with a big kiss nod from Nana. Love you lots, Freya. Sleep tight and dream of little toys and little horses. Love you loads. Good night. Night night, darling. Love you.